Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Now, opening up in this Ask Tony series where I'm going to be answering questions about men. Now, of course, as you know, men come in all shapes and sizes, different personalities, and a lot, but this is really based on just a through line of mature, healthy, ready men. We're not talking about grown boys. We're not talking about losers and chumps or anything else. This is for a man who is growing. He is ready. He wants to be a real man. So understand that. And I'm going to post these videos as regularly as possible and just kind of help demystify some of these things from a male perspective. So understand that. Now, this here is very important in your relationship as we're talking about how to get a man to communicate. Every woman has gone through situations with men where you felt like this man just doesn't communicate. He's not open to talking. To be honest with you, most of what we see in life stems from childhood. Some things happen as an adult, but if a man wasn't allowed to talk as a child, if he wasn't talked to, if his opinions were invalidated, if he wasn't heard, if he was always criticized, he was always judged, then that put him into a space of just not communicating because he didn't feel that his voice would matter anyway, so he just didn't say anything. So this has to be understood. You'll know this right out the gate just by how much he talks and what he says and doesn't say. So be mindful of this. So the first thing, step one, what you want to do is practice talking about his hobbies. And what I mean by this is ask him about the things that you see that you notice he's into and genuinely be interested in it. So if you see he likes to work on cars, go out there and help him, watch him. Hey, as you're doing this, can you teach me what you're doing? And okay, what's this? Okay, what's that? If you see he's like irritated and like he wants that safe space, he's out there by himself, then don't go out there while he's out there. When he's just relaxing and he's just chilling, so what you building? What are you working on? And ask him, okay, so what's that? Now tell me the difference. What's the difference between a Hemi and this? And you ask him based on what he says, and then you're listening to what he says, and then based on that answer, you grab a word from that answer and you ask the next question. And any word he says that you don't know what it means, ask him what it means. Have him describe it to you. So now what you're doing is you're showing him that you're willing, and this has to be genuine. You're not just faking, you're not manipulating, but you're really getting into what he's into. Because the more a man expresses himself, the more trust is built, the more love is built, the more everything is built. It really, communication, like they say, communication rules the nation. This is how you get a man to drop his guards and to feel seen and to feel heard. So that's very important. Make sure that you're doing that, because this is what is going to open him up. And now he'll be more open to learning about you and what you're into, because he will want to reciprocate that feeling that he feels when you are interested in what he's interested in. And as humans, we're so selfish. That's why we oftentimes fail at this. Now, step two, what you want to do is don't catch him off guard. And what I mean by this is you don't want to just bombard him in the middle of dinner. And hey, so I want to talk to you about quality time, because this is important. This is an important thing. It's okay to set the scene. He's a grown man. So it's okay to say, hey, tonight or this weekend, or even if it's on the weekend, first, what you have to realize is there's never a good time to have a real conversation. It's never a good time. So that's why just having normal conversation that's not dealing with kingdom issues, it's not a real situation, but it's just about hobbies and interests and your day. That's what sets the scene. That's what really opens him up. So when you get to the real stuff, he's more prone to talk. He's used to talking to you. So it's okay to say, hey, later when I get home, I want to talk to you and just have some dialogue about something I've been thinking about. And yes, men always say, "Oh, that's the worst thing. We need to talk." That's the worst thing to say, but that's grown boys. Grown men appreciate communication, appreciate you being open because we are not mind readers. Now, yes, be prepared for pushback, for deflection, and all of that. And that's where you have to go deeper in communication skills to learn how to handle deflection and rejection and projection and all of those things. So make sure you're reading up on communication skills and things of that nature to help you in this area. Now, number 3 is don't invalidate his feelings. Seek to understand. Now, what I mean by that is a lot of times humans, we're raised a certain way and we have this certain belief system and we feel this way based on our upbringing. And if we say that, someone says, well, that's not right. When you say that's not right, or that doesn't make any sense, or that is stupid, or that is childish, that is immature, that is less than a man. Instead of invalidating his feelings, seek to understand. So, what do you mean by that? Okay. Now, when you develop that opinion, what was it that led you to that point? Okay. So, you were hurt by this woman in your past and then you develop that opinion. Okay. So do you feel like she still has control over you because you made a life altering decision based on what she did? Do you feel that it's fair to me to have to suffer for what she did? Okay. Well, I hear you. I understand. And what I would ask is that you really just kind of spend some time with that and really think about that because it doesn't make me feel good and it doesn't feel fair. And I would really want you to rethink that. Give a little more thought to that. And then we can talk about it another time. Just like that. Just a little example. And the 4th step in getting the man to communicate is when he tells you what he needs or what he wants or how he feels, make the necessary changes. Because if you open this communication line for this secret agenda to tell him what you want and how you feel, and you get him to tell you what he wants and what he needs, and then you don't make any changes because you really don't care about what he wants and what he needs, when he sees that he opened up and he expressed this and nothing changed, he's going to shut down and then you're going to lose that access to him going forward. So I want you to think about this. Be very mindful, open and honest with yourself and use these 4 steps. Of course, it could go deeper. It could be more to this, but use this for starters and practice this, and you can stay on one for a while if you need to and then go from there. But don't get too stuck on one area. Make sure that you keep your composure and you communicate in a way that he communicates. So don't cry and pitch a fit and scream and yell and do all of that if you want him to be open to communicating. Hey, this is Tony Gaskins. We'll talk soon.